Hey, welcome to another episode of the Art of Relationship show. Going to be talking about a huge, heated topic, okay? Let's be honest, about affairs, about cheating. And I'm going to go over some myths of cheating, affairs, that a lot of people might want to pay attention to, that the marriage or relationship doesn't have to end. And again, I'm going to clarify, cheating affairs doesn't mean they are ever condoned, ever excused, okay? And I know this is a heated topic. It hurts for a lot of people out there. It devastates, it destroys, it shatters. Let's be honest, okay? So don't go anywhere. I want you to learn about this. And also, there are options to heal, to forgive if possible, and to make the relationship or the marriage better, believe it or not, okay, and deeper connected. I'll go over this right after this intro. Don't go anywhere, people. Okay, welcome back to the Art of Relationship show. As always, I do a disclosure. I'm Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship and sex specialist here in Detroit. Okay, yeah, woo, Detroit, Michigan, okay? Mama T, I appreciate you joining in. True Sayer, appreciate you joining in. As always, people, you can join in the live chat down below. You can throw your questions out there, your comments, anything I can do. It doesn't have to relate to today's topic, okay? And to go back on that, let me repeat, I'm Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor here in Detroit, Michigan. I'm a relationship sex specialist. I also have a lot of grief, a lot of trauma experience. In about a week or two, I'll be doing this professionally, specializing in this for 23 years. So a couple more weeks to go yet before I hit the 23-year mark, okay? Oh, a long time. But I want to help people, and I specialize in actually helping couples heal from after an affair. That's mostly what I work with, okay? And a lot of people, there's a lot of myths out there, and it does a lot of damage. I get that. It shatters the heart and soul of a lot of people. And a lot of people will look at, they'll always bash the individual that cheated, okay? And the other one is the victim, right? The survivor role. And I'm going to flip that script a little bit. And again, I want to make this very clear. When somebody cheats or, has an affair, it doesn't condone it. Nothing condones it. Nothing justifies it. And you're going to hear me say this probably throughout the episode. I just want to make it clear because a lot of people will take me out of context. Oh, Greg blames the victim. Not at all, right? I'm looking at responsibility and accountability for both parties involved. Again, that doesn't justify your partner going out and cheating, whatever, okay? But a lot of people will not look at themselves, and they'll always, they'll throw names at their partner. I can't believe she cheated on me. He cheated on me. What a loser. What a piece of shit. We can go on and on and on and on, right? And that's where I want people to understand and look at what is going on and a lot of myths out there surrounding this subject, okay? There's a lot of people out there that will say, they will throw out about looking at, once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm going to tell you that is a myth for most parties. Again, that doesn't mean it is there for everybody, but I'm going to be honest with you. Majority of people, the fact about once a cheater, always a cheater, that's not always true. That's a myth, okay? There are people that will cheat multiple times. Let's be honest. I tell people, I tell clients right here, I don't blow smoke up anyone's booties. Not at all. I'm honest. I'm legit. I'm not going to lie, people. tell them just to make them feel better, and it's a lie. Not at all. So there are people that are going to cheat multiple times, okay? Those are more rare, and I'll get into that. But however, once a cheater, always a cheater, that is not always true. I have chastised another professional that have told a lady that saw her husband cheated on her, okay? Horrific, devastating. And this female therapist, believe it or not, told her, you need to leave him. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Never got in. That was on the first session. And I went and visited this other therapist. And I'm going to be honest, I was not nice. Not at all. Because one thing, that's a myth. That is biased. It's judgmental. And it's just not true. And it does more damage than you could ever imagine based on your own biases, your own judgment. And maybe that therapist got burnt, got cheated on herself or himself. However, how did I learn this? I learned a lot of stuff from the couples I see, because I ended up seeing this couple after the individual that got cheated on went to this therapist, and I'm glad she was wise and smart and went with her gut instinct and got away from that other therapist that can do damage based on myths, based on misconceptions, based on flat out lies out there, okay? So once, I'm going to tell you, a myth that once a cheater, always a cheater. Again, it does hold true for some people, but those are small percentages, okay? Now we look at, an affair can definitely destroy a marriage or a relationship. It can. That doesn't always have to be the truth. Again, that is a myth. It actually can increase the strength and the connection in a marriage. I've seen it. I've done this, like I said, almost 23 years, and I've witnessed it happen with the work being done on both parties, the healing and everything going in. Yes, that has to be true, but there has to be genuine remorse and guilt. What caused the affair, doesn't justify or condone it, and a reconnection, recommitment, not to cheat ever again, and also reconnection to the marriage and a recommitment to the marriage or relationship, okay? Those things have to be in place. And again, please share this on your timeline, share it on your page, wherever you're watching it. I want to help as many people as possible out there, okay? And again, join the chat, join the live chat below. I love debates. I love, people disagreements and trying to help people learn and teach. That doesn't mean everybody's going to agree with me. Hell no. But I'm going to be out there, okay? Another thing is, a lot of people will look at that, again, that the marriage relationship cannot be healed. It'll ultimately keep the marriage and relationship destroyed if someone cheats or affair, if you stay together. That's not true. Not at all. Sometimes I tell people, and I use this reference often, that it is, and I'm not bashing, not at all, okay? Someone that might have an addiction to drugs, alcohol, that type of situation, that they will not get help to heal, to, stop the addiction, right? The challenge, until they hit rock bottom. How many people heard that before, right? A drug addict, no disrespect, will not get help until they hit rock bottom. Well, the rock bottom could be the affair, the cheating situations, right? In a lot of cases, again, not all. So this is where I look at, what is going on, what is happening to break the myths that are always out there, okay? And a lot of people assume, it's because the sex was not good. That's why they cheated. That's a myth too. Again, there are exceptions to that, but we're talking majority, right? We're talking higher percentages. It could be, that maybe they're not feeling loved, desired. They're not feeling desired in a sexual way, and they cheat. That does happen. But it also could be a myth. Sometimes cheating affairs have nothing to do with sex. So, again, that also is a myth, right? Another myth out there that, if your partner cheated on you, had an affair on you, that means he or she does not love the husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. That's another myth, okay? Everybody assumes that. They could love that person, but what if that person that cheated, they're not feeling love back, they're not feeling, connected, they're not feeling desired, appreciated, all these aspects. And that's when I said at the beginning, it is about both roles, that what did you do to have your partner want to cheat on you? A lot of people don't ask that. They get stuck in the victimization, and a lot of people, oh, you poor thing, you poor thing. They're not looking at, oh, why did your partner cheat on you? You get me? Again, never justified, never condoned. And a lot of people are going to look at that. They don't look in the mirror and look at, oh my God, why would my husband, why would my boyfriend, wife, girlfriend, why would they cheat on me? And they don't love me, whatever. Maybe they're not getting something out of the relationship. And that's part of the healing process, what needs to happen to be able to look at those situations, okay? So that's where you look at those aspects going on. And another myth is, looking at that there are always serious problems in a relationship when one cheats or one steps out. That is another myth. There's some people that cheat, and it's out of maybe an ego, out of pride. It's more within themselves, even though, the marriage or relationship is good. It's healthy. So there's a lot of people that look at it must be totally shit for them to cheat, and that's not always true. That's more of an individual aspect, that there's pride. There's ego and pride. Some people are looking at, they want to see, hey, do I still have game? Do I still have swag? Am I still attractive? It's their own ego and maybe self-worth, insecurities that pop out, even though the relationship is good. So there are people that have those situations, okay? And again, a huge myth that, oh, men cheat just for sex. It has no emotional involvement. That's another myth, okay? So that's where I want people to understand and look at, sometimes, we don't feel as men, women, same thing with women, not a gender thing, but a lot of people assume men cheat for sex. That's not always true, not at all. It's another myth, right? Sometimes we don't feel heard. We don't feel listened to at home. We don't feel a priority. We feel like, hey, if we feel a certain way, hey, I don't feel respected, and the wife, girlfriend, whatever, oh, I don't feel respected. Oh, that's crazy. You feel that way. How mean, how rude are you? Yeah, that's rude. You told me you don't feel respected. And then we shut up, and then someone chirps, makes us feel heard, respected, listened to. You get me? So sometimes it's based on, a lot of times it could be based on not sex at all. It's more about the emotional, maybe connection that we're missing, we're not getting, okay? So that is another myth that's out there, okay? Now, another myth that a lot of people will look at, that telling all the details about the affair or cheating are necessary to be able to heal the marriage or relationship when one partner cheats, okay? That's not always true as well. Now when I look at, and one thing I said at the beginning, right? I look at, excuse me, that, we have to know what caused it. What was going on? Is it that we didn't feel loved, appreciated, whatever? So we can heal that. Is it our own ego, pride, insecurities as an individual, that type of situation that's caused it? We need to heal that, whatever it is. But a lot of times we look at the partner that got betrayed on, that got ripped apart, they want to know everything. And my question is, why? What is the purpose behind it? Okay, that's where I'm huge at, with anything. I'm huge on what somebody feels, crucial, and I'm huge on feelings, I'm huge on purpose. What was the purpose of that person cheating? Again, not justified, not condoned, so we can look at healing it, okay? Now, we also look at, some people want to know the nitty-gritties, how many times they had sex, if they had sex, where did they meet, what times, all this stuff. And I'm looking at, and I get all this out of curiosity. I am also looking at what is the purpose behind the questions. Are the questions to build knowledge, to build awareness, to heal? Or are the questions to build vengeance, to weaponize, you get me? To hold your partner hostage? Those are not healthy questions and healthy purposes to ask. This is where I want, hey, Care Bear, hey, what's happening? I appreciate you joining in. So these are questions that I look at, what is the purpose behind them? Are they to healing? Are they to, move forward if possible and heal? That doesn't mean, all these are in place and the healing sets in like that. No, every couple's different. Every individual is different in what is needed. But we're talking about myths surrounding affairs, right? And like I mentioned before, it doesn't mean, most times it doesn't mean your partner doesn't love you, doesn't care about you, like a lot of myths out there. And a lot of people will jump on the soapbox, right? Look all over social media. Oh, your partner must not love you. If they wouldn't have cheated on you if they don't love you. That's a myth, right? Sometimes it is true, but we're talking majority of the time. That's not true. They love you, but they want to feel something from you. That could be a possibility. And that's why I said we have to learn and look at what is going on when it comes to cheating in affairs, what's going on, okay? What are other myths that people usually come up with? I'd love to hear your comments down below. Join the chat, people. And as always, you can check out my website. I'll throw it up there. It's on the banner anyways. There we go. There's, the banner down below. Yeah, I don't know why it's not centered, but you can also see it in the border down below my website, theartofrelationships.org, okay? So please look at that, okay? Check it out. Check more about me out. Any questions you have, feel free. You can email me, call me. My information's on my website again, theartofrelationships.org. Again, a lot of people look at another myth out there that if a parent cheated, that increases the likelihood of their child, when they get older as an adult, that they're going to cheat. That's another myth, okay? There's so many myths out there that society puts out there that, if we want to say people that want to bash and shame and ridicule and rip apart people that cheat, again, cheating should never happen. But we have to look at, it's a lot deeper than a lot of people realize. Is it selfish for cheating? Yeah, it could be, right? Or a lot of people, another myth, oh, you should have just left the marriage, left the relationship instead of cheating. I get that. Again, everybody assumes that's easy, right? But if you're not feeling, you love your partner, but it's not being reciprocated, if that is what's going on. You don't feel desired. You don't feel loved. That doesn't mean you get your way all the time. Not at all. Not at all. But a lot of people, oh, you should have just got a divorce. You should have just. But then some people, man, then I'd miss seeing my kids every day. Financially, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not feeling loved. I'm not feeling desired. I don't feel appreciated at all. I feel like I'm taken for granted, and I talked about it. It's going on. Nothing's changing, and I don't feel a priority. I feel like just a paycheck. I feel like just a mom, just a housekeeper, those type of things. And now I'm going to divorce, don't see my kids that often. Now I have to pay spousal support, maybe, child support. You get me? Well, you still should do. A lot of people have a hard time putting themselves in other people's shoes. So again, a lot of myths out there that, oh, it's so easy, you should just end it. No, there's things about looking at what can be done to heal it before it gets to a point where somebody cheats. Again, I never condone or justify somebody cheating. I look at what I can do to help heal. And that's what I've been doing for a long time. Like I said, over 2 decades, helping couples heal from this very thing, from cheating, from an affair situation. And, question, what questions do you have? And there's a lot of myths out there that will happen, okay? That, I'd love to hear your take on it. A lot of people will look at, and I'm being honest, they will bash, Greg, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been doing this a long time, okay? But a lot of people still have biases. They still have judgment out there about cheating and about myths. Again, they're never fun. They rip apart, they shatter individuals. I'm honest, okay? It rips somebody's heart out. It just shatters a lot of people's souls, okay? Hey, Nikki, hey, what's happening? So, again, I'd love to see your comments, questions down below. And, what other affairs are out there that happens about that, right? A lot of myth look at, well, if somebody cheated, they have no morals. They have no scruples. Maybe they made a mistake. How many people are human, right? But a lot of people look at, oh, they cheated, therefore they have no morals, no integrity, instead of making a mistake. Yeah, it's a choice. Let's be honest, okay? It is a choice. Hey, Ehab, my Cairo buddy, what's happening, Ehab? What's going on? Martin, I appreciate you joining in as well. So a lot of people will look at that, those type of situations, okay? They also look at, sex in a marriage is the only way to have safe sex is in a marriage. No, it isn't. If marriage is coercive, right? So that's another myth, right? That it could be coercive. It could be guilt trip. There are marital rape occurrences, believe it or not. So marriage, sex might not be all that safe. We want it to be. We hope it can be. But a lot of people will throw guilt trip. They'll throw, collusion into the mix, right? They'll try to, maybe sob, pout. They might bash their partner for not being sexual with them as often as they would like. So there's a lot of situations that go into play about we need to uncover and heal to put the marriage and relationship back on track if that's what both people do. So we have to look at, a lot of situations that are going on, okay? So that's what I mean. A lot of people look at it's a moral issue versus, people made a mistake and we make a mistake and we still could have our morality in check, that type of situation. So that is another myth. Here's another myth, okay? There were stats forever that always had a differential between men and women who cheat, right? There was like a 25-30% differential that 30% more men cheated than women. That gap is closed, and it's like right around 5% differential now, if that's even legit, okay? A lot of women, let's face it, they're smoother. They're smarter when they cheat, most times. So a lot of people assume that it's only men that cheat. That is so far from the truth, okay? So that is another myth. Again, we have to uncover and look at what created that. And can they be monogamous? Or do you understand that maybe monogamy isn't for that person? And now what do? Do you both have an agreement that you can love each other and not have a monogamous, a consensual? It's got to be consensual, non-monogamous marriage or relationship. That doesn't work for a lot of people. It works for some, okay? So those are situations that people talk about that situation, okay? Now we look at, what other myths have you heard that go on as I'm looking at? I usually don't have a cheat sheet. I have a cheat sheet, okay? That here are, some other facts too that, majority of marriages stay intact after an affair. That a lot of people look at, a lot of people from cheating, more people stay together than get divorced. Believe it or not, that is a fact. So a lot of people that look at, most people divorce from an affair, that's not always true. So there could be some healing. Again, it's both people realizing their role doesn't excuse or condone cheating at all, but it's looking at, okay, what can I do to heal? What can I do to earn trust back? That has to happen, right? And it's not just, oh, I'm sorry I cheated, and like next day it never happened. No, it's long going. It's consistency. It's like, time heals all wounds. No, it doesn't. I told people that's a myth, right? Time does not heal all wounds. What can we do to make time heal those wounds? But we need something along with time to heal them. Genuine remorse and guilt. We have to look at ways we move differently. How are we showing our partner to heal that we can be trusted again, right? Are they willing to do it? Some people are, some are not. Hey, Roy, Pamela, I appreciate everybody tuning in, okay? But again, throw your questions down below, people. Anything I can do to help. And I know I run with doing the Art of Relationship show. I run into a lot of questions, about how do I heal? My girlfriend cheated on me. My boyfriend cheated on me. My husband, my wife. We have to look at what is needed to heal it. And a lot of them is to uncover a lot of myths out there. Like I said, that doesn't mean always, most of the time, it's, your partner still could love you and they messed up, they cheated. Like I said, maybe it's something they're not getting out of the relationship or marriage. Maybe it's something inside of themselves where there's low self-worth, low self-esteem. Someone pays them attention and it makes them feel great. Again, never justified, never condoned. It's looking at what do we do to heal that so we don't step out of a relationship or marriage, right? And so we look at, what is happening, those type of situations, okay? So also, definitely, like I said, I talk about, healing and all this stuff. It can create a deeper, stronger relationship where maybe a lot of people, they talk about, and like drug addict analogy I gave a bit ago, where a drug addict might not get help until they hit rock bottom. And sometimes an affair or even filing for divorce, right? Or saying I want a divorce, it wakes up the relationship. Oh, now I'm willing to get help. Now I'm willing to reach out and try to get help, right? I would rather that help be sought, to be looked at after before someone cheats. Absolutely. Or divorce is filed, right? I'm all about preventative. I'm all about trying to heal, to be more connected so cheating or divorce does not happen, right? And we, look at compatibility issues, and there's so much into relationships and marriages that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people might assume, right? Oh, I've been married 20 years. I know it all. I'm going to tell you, no, you don't. Okay, you can be married for a long time. Great. You might know about your marriage, your relationship, but you might not know about somebody else's, right? There might be common themes or stuff going on, but it's also looking at, okay, what do we do to heal this and focus on how the affair, how the cheating affected me, how it affected both of us, how it affected the relationship or marriage, and now what do we do to try to heal from it, okay? What do you do to look at, okay, what we were not getting, what I could have done differently? What could I have done, like I said earlier, that you would not cheat? Again, not justified, okay? So there's a lot of things out there that, I'm never justify or condone cheating, an affair, stepping out, not at all, okay? We have to look at what's going on to try to heal that and try to fix it before it even gets to that point. Well, what are you doing to actually listen to your partner when they say, hey, I don't feel like I have a partner. I don't feel loved by you. I don't feel respected by you. Hey, what do you need? What can I do? Right? And if we just make them feel like they're not a priority, that they're not heard, they're not important to us, what they feel, what they say doesn't matter to us, what do we do then, right? Then what do we do? And like I said, sometimes it comes down to a situation where, you know what? I filed for divorce. I'm moving out. Or an affair or cheating got discovered. Oh my God, I can't believe you did this. And then we'll look at, Hey, I didn't feel love. Why didn't you tell? I did tell you maybe 100 times. You just didn't listen. I felt like, I didn't matter. It was always about the kids, right? Kids matter. They're a priority. But is the relationship or marriage a priority as well? Are each other a priority? It just looks different. That doesn't mean it's going to be the same after having kids. And it's, exhausting, right? It can be tiring, exhausting. Say both parents work and the kids, caregiving, all that aspect. Now you look at, what is going on, and everybody assumes you need to be okay not being important. You need to feel, oh, we have kids now, so you need to be okay not feeling loved, desired, important, a priority. And I'm asking that person, why should they be okay feeling those things? No way, not at all. Hey, Miranda, what's going on? Hey, what's happening? Appreciate you tuning in. What's going on with you? I'm not going to disclose for cousins. Maybe I just did, right? I hope life's doing okay with you, big time. So, yeah, that's cool you jumped on here. So there's a lot of myths going back and forth with, a cheating, with affairs, and everybody, it's like a black or white. It's a right or wrong. Cheating is wrong. Let's be real. It should never happen, right? I said it's never excused. Now we look at what is needed to repair the marriage and relationship and what's going on, okay? And people assume, another myth is that, if they didn't work here, if they didn't work there, if they didn't do this, the affair would never happen, right? Another a myth would be looking at the situation. Sitting here with mom, learning from you. Say hello. Say hello to her for me, please. And then looking at, they a lot of myths, right? If it wasn't for him, she wouldn't have cheated. If it wasn't for, that woman, he wouldn't have cheated. Another myth, right? If it wasn't for that other man, it might be another man. If it wasn't for that woman, it might be for another woman, right? So a lot of people assume it's because of a certain individual. Might be, but let's be real, right? Everybody will want to blame and take all the pressure, all the attention off the relationship and each other, what each other's going through, and they will bash and try to rip apart the other person, right? The affair partner, if you will. The person they betrayed with. I don't want that because it could be another person. It could be somebody else, like I mentioned. I want the focus to get away from and take the power away from that other person and put it where it belongs with the relationship, with the marriage in that situation, right? I want to look at what's going on. I want to look at what happened. Where was the breakdown in the marriage or the relationship? What was going on that led your partner or that individual to cheat? What was going on? I want to know I want to learn if it's an individual issue. Like I said, is it out of ego, out of pride, out of self-worth, out of insecurities? Is it a relationship issue that you weren't, person was not feeling loved, appreciated, desired, important, respected, those type of things? Or is it a combination of both? We need to get at what was going on, what was happening so we can heal it. And what is also needed to rebuild trust. Again, a lot of people will look at, I need to know how many times you had sex, what type of sex you had. My question is why? How would that heal the situation? Now, if you ask that your partner, hey, what type of sex would you like? What type of sex would you feel like you weren't getting from me? Now that is helpful. That is healing. Hey, if it was emotional going on, right? Hey, how would you like to feel more emotionally connected to me? What can I do to help you feel more emotionally connected to me? Again, great question. That is about healing, growing, evolving, instead of always focusing on the situation, right? Hey, what would you like different with us? We can ask. I said that at the beginning, right? We need to know what caused the cheating so we can heal it. And know which direction to go on. Was it ego? Was it pride? Was it a relationship breakdown? Was it a combination of both? That's going to drive how counseling, will work, how, couples or marriage therapy and counseling and the healing after an affair will work. And I do have a healing after an affair self-help course. It's not always easy, but I have a course. I think it's $47 on sale. You can check it at theartofrelationships.org under courses. It should be up top on the menu bar, okay? So we have to look at what is going on, and if we are feeling a certain way, are we talking to our partners about it? Are we directing, hey, I'm not feeling loved, I'm not feeling this way, and then the partner doesn't want to listen, or they throw excuses out there, right? And we get it. We're all tired. We're all exhausted at times. We don't feel like a priority. We just can't do everything, but we also have to make sure our partner is a priority in our relationship, and a marriage is a priority, because if it is not, why are we there? Why is our partner there, husband, wife, that situation? Why are they even there? Okay? So we have to look at the underlying root of stuff, which I go after, not the surface level stuff, but we need to go after what is happening, and you need to be able to look at healing, from these situations. So believe it, there's a lot of myths surrounding cheating, round affairs, those type of situations, okay? And there's a lot of us in the field. Esther Perel has done a lot of work surrounding affairs, cheating, that type of stuff. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of her. Esther's actually great. She's terrific. I give her a lot of props. She has done a lot of work. A lot of us other ones out there have done a lot of work to look at healing from affair, what's going on. And it doesn't have to completely ruin a marriage or relationship. It's going to shake it up. It's going to feel like it's shattered. Let's be real. But it also can become stronger. You can become more connected, more transparent with one another, more honest with each other. You get me? And it can be more connected than it ever had before. I wish an affair never happened, cheating never happened. I wish the help got there before it did, but now we can look at, okay, it might force people to get the help, and you can be connected. Is it guaranteed? Nope. Anybody that says it's guaranteed, they're lying to you, and I'm honest with you. But it's looking at what do you both need to do to be able to heal. And I usually tell people that did the cheating, they need to eat shit for a while, right? They need to earn that trust back and bust their ass to earn that trust back. But say they earn their trust back, they'll never cheat again. They'll be loyal. You get me? But then what happens if they still don't feel loved, they don't feel, important, appreciated, desired? But they still need to stay there no matter what. Ooh, you get me? Not a comfortable spot to be there. So there's a lot of things, a lot of issues to uncover and unravel and to be able to look at. No, it's not that simple. But the simple place is, like I said, is to get rid of the myths out there and look at what's going on, okay? Let's see. You're very good. I went through this one time at an early age, and the trauma really left its mark because I never really unpacked it. You know what? My deepest wishes, and I deal, a lot of people don't know, I've dealt with a lot of, it's mostly what I worked with, for almost 23 years now, healing after an affair. But I've also, like I mentioned at the beginning, I have a lot of grief, a lot of trauma experience. And I look at the impacts of trauma, sexual abuse, rape. I work with a lot of rape survivors, and I'm flattered as hell. Used to also specialize in kids, sexual trauma, getting sold out for sex by mom, you name it, okay? I'm not bragging, I'm just saying. So how trauma can affect all this stuff needs to be uncovered. But there are people that cheat that have never been traumatized. And I'm going to clarify this. Not everything is trauma, as a lot of people assume, right? You did this, you must have been traumatized. Not necessarily. So that's where I want people to understand and look at. There's a lot more ins and outs out there, and there's a lot of myths out there, even surrounding the field in itself when it comes into relationships and marriages, okay? So you look at those dynamics and look at what is going on. Again, even being traumatized, right? Say you were traumatized and still working on that. That doesn't give us a right to cheat. That doesn't give us a right to have an affair. That doesn't give us a right to punch or, abuse our partner. Oh, I was traumatized, so you need to be okay with that. Hell no. Never condone or never excuses it. It's looking at what do we do to heal it, not excuse shit, okay? So check out my website again, theartofrelationships.org, and please follow me, like me, if you want, all over the place. There we go. Subscribe and follow all over the place. And you can, I appreciate it. I'd be very flattered and very humbled for you listening, paying attention. Any questions, like I said, you can get a hold of me, message me on social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, Threads, YouTube, whatever I can do to help, okay? Follow me, like me, at LoveGuruGreg, and I appreciate it, okay? Peace and love to everybody out there. Again, many, many thanks. Everybody take care. Let's keep spreading peace and love, and let's get rid of hatred that is surrounding, especially in this country right now, needs to end. Peace and love, everybody. Bye-bye.